What's up, world? This is Raw with LiveLOUD coming at you guys again with another episode of Say It Loud. Welcome back. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's really been, again, such an honor to go ahead and keep on expanding these stories. I mean, I've shared this plenty of times with you guys. My intention was to tell a story for a week long, and then it turned into a month. And now it's been more than a month, and it's been ongoing. And I'm getting introduced and getting to meet more and more leaders who are out there who are creating some magnificent stuff in their own way through their own craft. One of the things that I really love about this is because everyone has their own individual journey, right? Everyone had their experiences of what made them, the lessons that they learned, the experiences that they had that molded them. So my guest today is Louis, who he's an author. I know he works with people in their personal health. I'll let himself introduce himself better, but you know, it's such an honor to see and to know that people are finding their methods and their fuel to go out there and make the difference, especially in a world where we might not have to, you know, we could keep our heads down and doing work. So Louis, thank you so much for joining me today, man.
Well, Raul, namaste. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be, part of your roster of leaders, really transforming people's lives and doing it from their stories, right? Their why. And I just want to let everybody know that I hope everyone is doing well right now with the COVID-19. The whole global pandemic. I know that it's been a challenging time for a lot of people, but I want everybody to understand that even though this could be a type of adversity that we're all experiencing, it's really an opportunity to revolutionize yourself and your life. So it's an awakening, it's a rebirth, and it's also a metamorphosis or an unfoldment that has never been created, and now it's an opportunity for everyone to decide to create from a clean slate what is it that they truly want to do and how they want to do it.
I love that, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. You just jump straight into creating some value for us, huh? Louis, so why don't you let us know, who are you? What do you do? How does that show up in the world?
My story of how I got involved in my health and wellness journey started back when I was in the second grade, and I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever. And rheumatic fever was kind of like a plague that hit like in the 1970s, and it causes inflammation in your connective tissues, in your heart, in your brain, in your joints. And unfortunately, when I was in the second grade, I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever, and I was in the hospital for 3 months, and I was paralyzed and was in a wheelchair. And I remember asking myself, what is wrong with me? Am I broken? Like, for a kid at that age to be in a wheelchair and be in the hospital and not be able to see, their family members, it's very devastating. And thank God that I was able then to heal, right, and to rebuild. But from the age of 8 all the way to like 20, I had to take penicillin vaccine shots in my leg every month without fail. And you got to go to the hospital and go every day and get an injection. And I had to learn how to relax my muscles, because if you tense your muscles, the needle's very hard to penetrate. So that started my journey of healing myself and making sure that my heart was going to operate at its maximum. And I started exercising, when I was 10, 11, just doing push-ups regular. But then when I was like 16 years old, once I stopped playing sports and I stopped being active, I put on weight. I put on like maybe 35 pounds. And this is a defining moment. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and I had no shirt, right? And I was in my underwear, and my stomach was sticking out like a beach ball, honestly. And I was disgusted on the way I looked. And I remember looking at him and telling him, this is the last time this is going to happen. From here on in, my abs are always going to be defined and cut. And then I got in that journey, right, of changing that around. Now, I was committed So it was very drastic. I do not recommend anyone to do this. But I went on a ham and cheese diet. Ham and cheese diet with no mayo. Because then I'm living with my parents. So two ham and cheese sandwiches, no mayo, Wonder Bread, right? And water. And working out 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day. I lost 35 pounds in 4 weeks. Very dramatic, right? But it was done. That put me on the path of always making sure that my body was developed, right? And that took the journey of me becoming a personal trainer, starting at Bally's, Jack LaLanne, working at different health clubs, and then personal training one-on-one got really popular, and I'm like, it's time for me to go on. But that journey of focusing on the outer was very shallow, and it was very narcissistic. And my body had to be chiseled and cut. And it was, but there was a price for that to happen. I was very insecure. I didn't love myself. My whole life revolved around working out. And if my workout was not good, then my whole day was off. Yeah. And I know a lot of people could relate that they must exercise because they think your muscles just gonna, fall away, right? But that was an addiction. And when that started to happen, I realized, I have to go inward and I have to start going deep inside my soul. That led me to go to Kripalu in Massachusetts, and I became a yoga teacher. And that was very healing, and it was the opposite, because I was always working out really intense, masculine, and then I went to Kripalu and I chose a different yoga form, which was more feminine, right? The masculine and the feminine. It was about healing, really opened up my heart, and I became a student of unity. And then once I started going deeper into my spiritual path, then what happened was the physical was able then to relax, and I started tapping into all the faculties. And that's led me now to meditating for 15 years. It's led me to this point now of being a holistic transformational coach, because it's about working with the entire body, right? Your mind, your body, and your spirit. So when I work with people, I ask them, why do you want to get in shape? Why do you want to lose weight? Right? A lot of people were like, well, have a nice body for the beach, right? I want to be more confident. I want to, believe in myself more. And I always tell people that whatever you have attached to what you're going after, it's not real.
Yep.
Because when I was ripped, I was even subconscious to taking off my shirt because it's perfectionism.
It's there, yeah.
It's never enough, right? It could be somebody will look at you and be like, wow, I wish I was like that person. But then this person is like so insecure. What happens? Can't even really enjoy it. So, now I'm at a mature age, the age of 51, going to be 52. My practice is about mind, body, and spirit.
I love everything, man. I love everything that you're sharing. I align with that so much. There's such an importance in reflecting on that, right? I think I've done that for a long time, and I still currently do it, where I attached my success or even deeper, my happiness to an attachment that I have of what could be or what will be. Like when in my work, my whole intentionality behind it is to really spark awareness and to really bridge gaps and pull people closer together through my artistry, right? Through storytelling, just being able to work in these other communities around the world and support them develop their visual representation, so that way resources, funding, and all that stuff can come together and these people can actually get the support that they need, right? Like you have gems that you have to teach. There are so many people who are looking for that and are in need of that in order to go progress forward in their reflection. And so I love to work with people like you or these game changers to radiate that message out. Now, for me personally, there's a lot of times where I'm so hard on myself for the fact that, oh, it's still not there, it's still not enough, it's still not enough. Like, and what you were saying, when someone could look at your body and be like, oh, that guy's in great shape, you know, that could be your goal, but you yourself weren't content with that. I remember having gallery shows where I've celebrated for maybe 15 minutes afterwards, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Because it wasn't enough, because I wasn't really connected to why I'm doing this and the importance of like the presence and the preservation of my heart, my spirit in that practice. So everything you're saying really rings true for me with the spending time with yourself, because whatever that goal is out there, whether that be that house, that job, that amount of money, the body, the car, all the things that we attach to our happiness is not necessarily there. You know, it's our relationship with ourselves that has us relate to these things to feel that happiness.
Yeah, you know, it's really about developing a beautiful relationship with thyself. Mm-hmm. Like I shared earlier about my journey with the physical, what started to happen, even though I made all those changes and I went through multiple transformations like everybody else does, the food addiction has always been there. I think this is really relevant now that we've been quarantined now for over 2 months. I struggled a lot with food addiction, like binging, overeating. So the journey was, I'll get ripped, and then after my birthday, I would start, okay, still summer, still cool, September. It's kind of like the seasons, right? It will fluctuate because I love food. I love healthy food, bad food, like junk food, sweets, de todo. Like I like everything, right? And then at the same time, you know, I also like to have my drink, right? My sangria, my mojito, nothing crazy, no shots, right? Some wine, some champagne. But here's the thing is, I struggled with that for a long time. So even though I came from a place of like super ripped, then I eased off. So then it was like trying to find that balance. So these are the demons that I believe we all have. And sooner or later, we got to put them at rest. Not at bay, at rest. So now that we've been quarantined, this is the best time for those demons to grab you by the throat and be like, yo, you're not going nowhere because we're locked down, yo. Open that fridge y vamos a comer. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the leftovers, get those chips, don't play yourself. And interestingly enough, that hasn't happened, huh? Like, I can honestly say that addiction is at peace. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason that I believe that. The reason I believe that now it's at peace, it's not at bay, not going to come back, is only because I have made peace with a part of me that I didn't want nobody to know, especially myself, right? So to admit I'm an addict to food, I'm an addict to alcohol, I'm an addict to sex, I'm an addict to pornography. The moment you admit something, you're now being vulnerable, exposed, transparent, open to being judged, right? Being ridiculed, being made fun of. But the paradox is when you open yourself up, you open yourself up to freedom. Pretending is not there, it's going to attack you more. You know, whatever we resist, persist, or the cliches, they're true.
Yep.
You have now completely surrendered to something that was there to teach you a lesson. So the addiction is your teacher. So you have to face the teacher and say, thank you for the lesson. And then the transformation unfolds.
There's so many parts right there. There's a distinction that I really want to highlight of what you're saying right now. It's
I don't even know how that came out. I mean, that's like, yo, the
wisdom,
heart was
man.
speaking. The heart was speaking, pa.
Is your next book, man, coming out right now? It's being written.
Damn.
But the distinction that I want to highlight there is when I understand that when you say accepting, that doesn't mean settling. For those people who think, okay, well, if I accept that I'm an addict with this, that this is a fixed position. And I don't think that's what Lewis is saying right now. I think what's really there to highlight is accepting the fact that this is the current reality of how I've related to myself. Not that it's a permanent state, right? Not that we can't transform, but rather than resisting it, fighting it, dreading it, avoiding it, we could accept that, okay, one of the things that I loved about the coaching world was one of the things that they would say is up until now for everything. Good or bad or whatever, up until now, this has been the case. I accept that I have been addicted to sex. I have been addicted to drinking. I've been addicted to eating up until now. Now that I accept this information and I receive myself, what do I now want to do with this new information?
Listen, that's powerful. Because I remember Dr. Wayne Dyer, may his soul rest in peace, he was a big mentor. And he will always say, if a person has an addiction, you create an intention. Intentionality is very powerful because the moment that you create an intention, that intention has energy and it lives in a space of possibility. It's intent. Admitting to yourself that you have an addiction is not the same of saying, I am an addict.
Yes.
Because whatever you put after I am, you are. Freedom is not created, right? So you know that the other cliche, when one door closes, another one opens. The moment you accept, that door now went click and the other one opens. Because now the acceptance gave you the opportunity to walk another way.
Yeah, that's so solid, man. And there's also one thing, you know what, we got to design a program around this thing. That there's three things that are coming to me.
There's a lot of things we're gonna we're going deep, huh?
Yeah, there's three things that I hear: awareness, intention, and action. First, you create awareness about what's occurring for you. And then now that you have this awareness that you receive, that you acknowledge, that you accept within yourself, intention is what do you want to do with this information? Now, which way do I want to turn this energy? And then action to start creating that, manifesting into reality.
Now, so listen, that's amazing. I just want to add one more part.
Go ahead.
Because awareness is powerful. Awareness is saying you have a choice. You're no longer the program that's running in your subconscious mind. It's not habitual anymore. Habitual is like you have no awareness. But before we get to the awareness, that you have to come first to surrender. Can I please surrender myself to something greater? So then the surrender becomes the awareness. And then from the awareness, you create the intention, and then you take action. Now, the only reason I'm sharing surrender is because when everything fails, and I know a lot of people could relate, weight loss is not an easy thing. It's a challenging thing because, one, there hasn't been acceptance, like we talked about. Two, a lot of people want to lose weight with all the different trends. Intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, keto, right? Sooner or later, you got to come to a place of balance, right? So there's a different consciousness from someone that is overweight and someone that is not.
I love that, man. I love that. That's so great. Can we plug in real quick? What did you learn from that experience from 8 to 20 and having to take these shots? You said every month. What did that set for you in your mind?
So what did I learn from that? I guess that back then I was just thinking, how can I rise to the occasion? the health and the wellness started taking over my being. Maybe on a subconscious level, I felt reliant on these vaccines to give me life. Yeah, man, that was devastating. That was really devastating. I mean, thinking about it now, like, wow, I've come a long way. And you forget about that.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. I think what I heard when you were speaking, or my interpretation about what I hear, is like you were from a young age in this space of having to heal, having to kind of take care of yourself. So, and I would imagine, as hard as that experience is, the choices that you make from there, it kind of like forces a commitment, right? Because trying is really hard. Commitment is easy, right? Trying is like you have to go and try to find the motivation that's outside of you. But when you have a demand, then it's like, okay, well, I accept that. Though it's hard, I accept that this is what's occurring in my body. And now I just get to be in the space of healing. And now when you get to do it on your own terms, with your own decisions, now, like, I would imagine that that elevated your game in how you could care for yourself, because there's so many times it isn't until something is really wrong for the majority of people, I guess, in the later years, before they start taking action on what we need to do to preserve our body. And for you, it sounded like you learned that from a younger age. How is it that you work with people now? How is it that because I know you have a couple of things that you created. You wrote a book, you have a program that you might be launching, or how is it that you work with people?
Yeah, so now I work with people on really helping them establish their why. Why do they want to be in the best shape of their life? Mm-hmm. Why do they want to lose weight? Why do they want to start a spiritual practice? So, being a holistic transformational coach, I help people really learning about the person's lifestyle for their desired goal. So I could then determine, where the person was, where they are now, and where they want to go.
Gotcha. And so, for the people who are listening at home right now, again, another reason why I launched Say It Loud is so that we get to speak on our expertise or stories that got there, but also relay a message for the people who are home right now who might be intrigued, who feel like they have a struggle with their relationship with food, or a struggle with their relationship with themselves, mind, body, and soul, and the ways that you work with people. What would be your suggestion for people who might be listening right now and want to take some action towards this? Now that they might have the awareness part, now is the intentionality. What would you say that people can take on?
Well, I mean, look, the first thing you could do is, if this interview resonates with you deeply, don't deny that. That's the universe speaking to you. That's number one. And if you're ready for that type of commitment, and you're ready to go through that metamorphosis, and you feel like you need somebody to guide you, I'm offering a free discovery call for anyone that just wants to talk, right? We're just gonna get on the call, and you're gonna tell me where you are. I see how I could best support you. If you're ready to go all in, great. If not, it's great too. I'm here to serve. So the first thing is, reach out, just be open to the solution and the proper guidance that's going to help you get to where you want to go.
Absolutely. Something doesn't have to be wrong. We don't have to have a problem in order to elevate ourselves to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of health. We don't have to be unhealthy to want to be healthy, right? There's always levels of us that we could expand into that. So I really love that. So Louis, where can people find your work, follow you, and get in touch with you?
So you could go to my website, CoachLouisSoto.com. My handle is at CoachLouisSoto. That's on Instagram, and that's also, in Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, same thing, Coach Louis Soto. But I just want to leave kind of like this final thought. One, understand that you're not broken. That's one. Two, you're not a mistake. Three, whatever you're dealing with is not a life sentence. And four, possibility exists the moment you believe that it's there for you.
I love that. That's another program. Let's say we're writing a couple of them out, man. That's it. We got first three chapters of the next book, man.
we gotta do this again. We gotta start like a mastermind.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Wow.
We got the next 3 chapters of your next book already.
I know, right?
Wow. All right, guys. So for everyone listening in, again, if this resonates at all with you, if it's your relationship to your health, to your spirituality, to your meditation, to what's exterior, even if you're not quite sure if it fits, get in touch with Louis, follow his work, check it out, have a conversation. We don't lose anything from having these conversations on how we can elevate it. And if it's not for us, it's not for us. There's a lot of different things out there that can really contribute to our growth. But if we show up and if we're open to it, there's so much that we can learn and grow. So to be able to have that knowledge that he puts out there, that he contributes to other people, please take it up for it. Check it out. It might be something for you that could really pivot you to your next level. So Louis, thank you so much for jumping on with me today, man. I really appreciate your words and your thoughts, man.
Thank you, Val. It was a pleasure, and you're doing amazing thing, and I look forward to us collaborating and doing something amazing next time.
Heck yeah, man. The sky's the limit, man. We're going to have some fun. All right, guys. So for everyone listening in, stay tuned. Make sure to check out more episodes of Say It Loud, where we get to hear from extraordinary people doing such amazing things with their intimate stories on what led them to this point and why they choose to give it back to all of us and all of you. So thank you guys again. Make sure to tune in, and we will see you soon.
Take care. Namaste.